Well, hello, everyone. My name is Peter Stein. I'm senior programmer for Frameline, and I'm so glad that you had a chance to watch the Frameline screening of Two of Us, Deux, and I'm especially thrilled that we are joined today by two of the key creative team here. First of all, welcome, coming to us from the south of France, director and co-writer Filippo Meneghetti. Hi, Filippo.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Absolutely a thrill to have you here. And the amazing Barbara Sukowa joining us actually from New York State, where she lives. Welcome, Barbara, and congratulations on an amazing performance as Nina. Let's see, do we still have Barbara on your wonky phone?
I think I'm back. I was gone for a while, in and out.
No worries. I just gave you a big compliment, and you were very gracious in disappearing just when I was telling you you had an amazing performance that we just enjoyed.
It was all on purpose.
And thank you also to Matt, who is doing ASL interpretation for us today. So Filippo, let me start with you. This is an extraordinary film. It's your debut feature, which is even more impressive. Tell us a little bit about the origins of the story, which you co-wrote with Malison Bovarasmi. Where did the characters of Nina and Mado come from? Tell us a little bit about the inspiration.
Well, yeah, thanks, first of all. And it's a long story, but I'm going to make it short for this Q&A purpose. Basically, Nina and Madeleine are invented character. You know, we made them up. It's kind of a collage of different people that you meet during your lifetime. And basically, the idea to tell this kind of story it came because when I was younger, there were the person that were very important to me because they were actually the person that passed me the passion for cinema. So very important to this day, I guess. That had a story that is not the one that the film tells, but it's quite similar. It's actually their story was harder, was even more difficult. So nobody would believe it if I would tell their story, which is very, very, almost incredible. And,
wow.
So at that time, I was really touched by their story. And I always thought that if one day I was able to, talk to an audience, to tell a story, I would have loved to tell that kind of story as a gesture to give something back. They gave me this gift somehow of, when I was 15, 16, 17, to show me cinema and make me see wonderful films, and that opened a path for me. So I wanted to give them back this thing. And then one day later on, 15 years later, one day, and I always, I was looking for the right angle, because, I'm somehow hunting for metaphors, when trying to find the right angle to tell a story in a visual way, in something that you can represent, that you can film. And basically I was visiting a friend, and at the last floor of this building, the building in which he was living, there were two women that became widow almost at the same time, and to keep each other company, they were living on the same flat with two doors that were all the time open, and they were speaking to each other through the landing. And so, I've heard, I was on the stairs and I just heard it, and I asked my friend what was it, and right there I had this quick feeling that could be the way I could tell the story I wanted to tell. So that was, very quick. And then it was 5 years writing with Malison Bovarasmi, my co-writer. And that was a long process of finding the right way to tell the story, the right, everything. And it's a long process.
And just so I'm clear, that the people who were so influential to you, who you kind of were the deep inspiration, was this two women, or was it a couple, a man and woman? I'm curious.
Two women.
Fascinating. Our friend Barbara seems to have lost her cell phone contact. I'm sure she will rejoin the conversation in a minute. But I wanted to speak further with you, Filippo. You chose to tell the story as a suspense film. And this was a fascinating choice, because given what you just talked about with regard to the people who inspired the story. It could have been a love story. It could have been a melodrama. It could have been really any kind of drama, but you chose this very Hitchcockian suspense approach. And I want you to talk a little bit about how you developed that whole tone with and whether Hitchcock was specifically an influence, because as soon as I heard the crows and then I saw the peepholes and the door holes and the kind of combination of humor and suspense, I thought, oh, maybe Filippo has a little bit of a crush on Hitchcock. But tell us more about that.
Well, thanks. It's such. Well, yeah. There are different things to talk about. For sure, Hitchcock is such great references for, I guess, for us old filmmaker, because it's such a big reference, and I love his film and everything about it. But yeah, the idea was basically gosh, something failed, whatever. We are experiencing technical problem.
Yeah.
That's the suspense kind of so yeah, basically the idea we wanted with Malison to avoid pathos, because I wanted to tell a love story, but not, love is a complex thing, and which has different layers, and some of the layers are not that nice, not that easy to handle. Like, I believe one of the layers in this in love can be obsession, and you can be obsessed by this feeling, or obsessed by the need that you have of somebody else, of the person you love, for instance. And it seemed to me that suspense can be a nice, the right tool to convey this feeling. So the way I see filmmaking is, I have to find the right tool to tell the story I want to tell, and to reach the audience in the way I want to reach it. So once can be thriller, or anyway suspense. Next time can be something else. And then of course there are personal taste, and I really like that kind of film. I really like Hitchcock. I really like, of course, all this kind of thing. But and then it was good to create this idea of a struggle also, and the landing, the people, all this thing. It's easier for me to avoid pathos and still have obstacles through the suspense kind of film than through the melodrama, because melodrama, if I go there, then the obstacle might develop, a pathos, or this thing of, also one very important thing, melodrama will push the emotion towards the audience, while I believe my work is to create room for the audience to gather their own emotion, in some unexpected way, at their own pace, whenever they want to. And suspense, it's easier, I believe, it seemed more appropriate.
While you were away, Barbara, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you. I didn't hear anything you were talking about, of course.
No, we were talking only about you, and you'd be blushing. So, Barbara, tell us what you saw in this character when you first read the script, and how it changed as you worked with Marisol and with Filippo.
So I got the script. I really loved the script. I think they were very complex characters, both of them. I loved that it was two older women, and not what you see often in movies, lesbian women who are younger and have kind of a titillating quality for men. And what I also loved, it was not only about the love of these two women for each other, but it was also about family. It was about Martine's, her kids, and the relation from them to her. And I also love the element that Nina was a stranger, that she was somebody who came from abroad, which of course was great, because I didn't have to hide my accent, didn't have to work on my American accent or French accent. And then I met Filippo, and I really liked what he was saying about the characters. I had the feeling they had really gone in depth with these people. And then I met Martine at a dinner in Paris. And like this happens often with actors, you very quickly have to go into very personal experiences, which normally, if you meet another person, you wouldn't share these things. So we both shared about our own history of love and love lives and relations. And that went very quickly. And yeah, and then I mean, I do believe very much that film is a director's medium, and as an actor, you do your part, but then in the end, you never know what the director is doing, especially if you work with a first-time director, and you haven't seen anything, of him. So to trust, and I trusted Filippo, and because sometimes people ask me, what's the difference between a female director and a male director? And I always say, it's just like they're talented people and not so talented people. And I realized right away that he was a talented person. And yeah.
I was going to say it is a great deal of trust that any actor puts in the hands of a director. What was it about either the script or the character, or maybe Filippo's earlier work that allowed you to have that trust? You've worked with directors from Fassbinder to Schlöndorff to David Cronenberg, Margareta von Trotta, and here's a first-time feature director. Obviously, Filippo has done many shorts and has a great history of filmmaking, but a feature film in the helm is a different story. What was it particularly that you felt, yeah, I can put my performance in his hands?
Instinct. I don't know. I just did it. I mean, I had a good feeling.
Tell us a little bit, now that Barbara is off the screen, how you felt you could win the confidence and work with such incredibly talented and experienced directors. Is that intimidating for you on the set?
Well, yeah, at the beginning, for sure. I mean, I remember very clearly the week before the shooting, when it comes to reality, because at first it's something you've been working for years and years, writing, financing, developing the film, and then you meet Barbara, and of course you are intimidated, but then everything goes well, and just one day you talk or something like that. And then when the moment comes that you're going on set, then you are scared. But I have the feeling that every important thing in life must be scary before doing it. If it's not scary, then it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, you're not taking enough risk or putting enough of yourself in it. So then you go with it. And then I believe in one thing. I believe in work. When you work and you work a lot, I hoped going on set that working together, she might feel that we were not knowing where we are going, because you never know exactly where. I mean, especially filmmaking is such a there are so many things that comes into the process that you don't know exactly the outcome, but at least you can put in some enough work to do it.
Right.
And so that was my feeling. And then first day you're very intimidated. First shot, we make a close-up of her, I guess, very first thing we did with Barbara, and my DOP looks toward me and said, it's like filmmaking, we are making cinema. And I said, yeah, it's so cool. So it is like this, there's a quality that is there, and then after a while you get used to it, and it's it's filmmaking, it's work. And
about the actor, working with actors, being intimidated by my youngest son. He is in the graduate program in NYU, and he wants to be a filmmaker. And when he did I think the first time he did a film with the actors, and the night before he said, Mom, I'm so scared what I'm going to tell the actors. All of a sudden I don't know anything. And I said to him, you know what? You just have to believe them, what they're saying. And if you don't believe it, just make them do it again until you believe it. Right. Because that's what basically the I know that, of course, there's still more to it, but that's what the audience wants. They want to believe an actor, right?
Good advice.
Yeah, I was going to say your son is very lucky to have a really seasoned actor giving him direction, and I'm sure his actors feel very grateful for your advice too. Barbara, was it particularly challenging to perform a role in French? Obviously, you speak French really well, maybe even fluently, but I would imagine as an actor using your not first language, maybe not even your second language, that there's a shift.
It is. I mean, French is my third language. I'm now feeling kind of confident in English, but even there, I mean, it's just, you know, the language with which you grew up. I feel more confident in German. I feel more free in German because I don't have to think of the, you know, there's not going to come anything out which is grammatically wrong. It just can't. But in French, so that's why I was glad that she was a foreigner, because you always have to think you can't really let go and just like go ahead, you know, do something. There might come out something that's just not correct.
And was that an aspect of Nina's character that Filippo you inserted? You made her from Berlin and gave her a German last name because of Barbara's casting, or was that already written into the script?
Since the beginning, I wanted her to be a stranger. So that could be from maybe the very first version of the script. I even forgot what probably was already German or I don't remember actually, really. But I knew, I know that I wanted her to be a stranger because it was very important, because that adds to the situation. And I'm a foreigner. I'm a stranger
the situation because, it served the situation in the sense that she comes from a big city and she's coming to the province, to a very provincial town, because people could tell you, oh, come on, who has that problem telling their family today? We also had, you know, but this was a provincial. So it's, I don't know if you have talked about that when it's friends. If it's, you know, it's your parents who have the problem or your friends, you know.
No, I'm glad you brought that up. Even and again, we seem to have you in 5-minute chunks, Barbara. Your bandwidth only lasts about 5 minutes and then it goes away. But since you brought it up, I'll turn it to Filippo, because I have a feeling that you're going to be disappearing from us in a minute. This idea of setting it in a provincial space where likely there are more conservative values. Again, it didn't necessarily even have to be a lesbian story in order for there to be this conflict between the choices that an older woman makes and the disapproval of her family. But tell us a little bit more, maybe specifically about what the power of it being a women's relationship was, and also the context of it being a small provincial town.
Well, I grew up in a very small town in the Venice region in Italy. You know, very Catholic background and everything. I was an altar boy, whatever. So you know, I know that kind of environment, and you know, it really was heavy on me when I was a kid, I guess. So I know that, and I wanted to depict that. And you know, every small town looks pretty much the same for this kind of thing. This kind of relation, family, community, and so on. It might be in southern France or in northeastern Italy, where I'm from, and it's pretty much the same. I mean, as much as I can see. So the small town, it was a very important context. Even though at the beginning I was worried that I wasn't shooting in Italy, in my own town, and then I had to move it away in France, because I moved to France and so on. But then I believe the context, it's somehow cinema context. You know, that's the cinema is a context itself. And what we try to do, we try to put our own experience of a small town and let the audience come in with their own experience of a small town and try to meet somewhere in their imagination and between their imagination and what we put into work. But then one thing that is very important is that it's the age of the character that was very important for me, because of course the fact that they are two women, it adds to the problem, let's say, according to the family, to Madeleine's family. But the fact that an aging person can make this choice of changing a life or finding another lover, that's I know few stories which are completely awful and difficult to understand, but that exist, in which the family or the sons refuse to speak to their mother or their father because they just wanted basically to go on living and experiencing life in its fullness, loving and having sex and all the things that we all want to be happy, to just to live. And so I saw that, and that was really, really important. And age, on another level, it's a very important thing for me, the fact that I wanted the character to be aging, because I believe, I have this feeling, that very strong thing, that our society is pretty much obsessed with the body, with the youth. Almost that becomes also almost a fetish, something. The body must be perfect, must be like a machine or something, never aging, never and so on. And this makes me really angry, because I think it's such a political issue, because the body is where politics starts, actually. So I really wanted that to be so, and it was very difficult. Also, that's why also I thought about Barbara, because at first, because I know she is a brave actress. She I know her career. She knows how to go for things, and there are no many actresses that could have trust a first time director to shoot age the way we did, close up with not much makeup. That is not very common, to find actresses that are willing, to show for me what is their beauty, but it is not always thought like that. So I don't know if it's clear. I saw a lot of different
I don't know
phases.
how much of that you heard, Barbara, but Filippo was talking really about the honesty of shooting particularly older women's bodies, and how rare that is in cinema these days, which is really true. Did you have a point that you wanted to make in making this love story with two older women, mature women, in that regard?
Yeah, well, I like that Filippo didn't want somebody who has done a lot of face work, or just really wants to show that. And I mean, the whole thing with the fetish of the young body, it is because you can sell much more. It's always about selling. If you are older, what are you gonna sell? I mean, they're trying now to tell women that they have creams to put the wrinkles away. It's just bullshit. You get wrinkles, you're not going to go away from creams. But the young body is something that this idea is selling, and I think it's a pity. I think it's a pity that we don't, and it's really humiliating in a way, when you to have this look on older people, not only older women, but also older men, that it's devaluated, and that I mean, there are cultures. This is a teenage culture, especially in America. I think it's in America much more than anywhere else. I mean, the problem that men have when they lose their hair. I remember a time in Europe when Michel Piccoli was considered sexy with his, when he lost his hair. There was something that we liked, but now everybody wants to have full hair, and yeah, I think it's a pity that we don't appreciate old age. But I have to admit, when I was young, and I was in the '68 generation, we said don't trust anybody over 30, and the idea that older people would have sex was just, to me, horrifying. So maybe I talk like because I'm old, because when I was young, like when I was in my 20s, I thought, are they still doing it? Oh God, no. So, but I think times have changed, and these things are a little more, is a little better maybe.
Well, I'm super grateful that both of you collaborated on a film that does show a most an all too rare relationship. Not just that it's two women, but two mature women, and it's very much about the power of love, to prove something to us, that is even stronger perhaps than family bonds. I'm so sorry, Barbara, that we've had some in and out and tech trouble with you, but your words are golden. Your performance is fantastic, and I want to thank you for joining us. And Filippo, congratulations on a debut feature. We're so excited to be able to show this and share this with California audiences. Do you already have a next film in mind? And are you going to be working with Barbara again soon? I hope so.
Well, we'll see. That we are thinking about the next film with Marisol. So we have a few ideas, but we are not sure yet which is the one. But we are working right now. So
yeah, put pressure on him.
Good. Well, to you both,
very slow.
To Matt, our ASL interpreter, to all of you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you to the tech gremlins who brought Barbara back, I think 4 times from purgatory. Congratulations again on a beautiful film. We look forward to seeing it out in the real world and in the virtual world really soon. Thanks from Frameline.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Bud.